everyone, it's Lindsay and welcome back to my channel, and today let's change our lives. So everywhere I've looked over the past year, I have been seeing people do this 75 hard challenge, and this is a mental toughness challenge that incorporates mental, physical development, as well as health challenges, personal development included, everything to make you a stronger, better version of yourself in 75 days. And recently I've been seeing Authortubers try this challenge and put a writing spin on it. And if there's one thing about me to know, it is that I love a self-improvement challenge. I'm always striving to become a better version of myself. One of my super niche hobbies that you might not know about me is that I love doing the body, or they used to be called beach body, workout programs where they're like, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and you do these really rigorous workout challenges. I've completed 4 or 5 of those in the past, and I always love the results I get, mainly just like the way I feel after completing something really hard. It just makes me feel like a boss. So when I saw people also putting a little author tube or writing or publishing spin on it, I was like, oh, color me intrigued. At the end of this month is when we will be doing the mid-year check-ins and seeing how I'm doing on my 2025 goals, and everyone else will be reassessing. And I just feel like this is a great way midway through the year to really pick up and reinvigorate myself, making sure I'm really smashing those goals that I wanted in the first place, especially my publishing goals. Because if you did not know, I do not have a contracted book right now. My last one, Bitter Bones, is now in copy edits, so the payments on that are pretty much done. I don't have any money coming forward, so I need to write some dang books. Now let's kind of talk about what I'm personally doing. Now 75 hard, it is a lot. It is a lot. And there's a lot that doesn't really, go well with my lifestyle. But when I was researching, looking into it, I found there's also people that do a edited version of it that's a 75 medium or a 75 soft that is more doable. And the point of these challenges is to change your life for the better, right? It doesn't matter if that change comes through a 75 soft or a 75 hard, as long as the change comes and you feel better about who you are. That's the important part. So when I started looking into those, I was like, oh yeah, these align way more with the goals that I want for myself. The version that I have created for myself, I'm going to be calling the 75 medium challenge. And what I did was I looked at the original 75 medium goals and I kind of tweaked them so that they worked specifically to my life, my lifestyle, and what I wanted to see in the end. I wanted to set my challenge in a way that was what is my perfect life? Let's pretend that I'm already living that perfect dream life. What are the daily tasks that I would be doing in that perfect dream life? And those became my goals. So now I'm going to share my goals, how I tweaked these and turn them into what I'm doing for the challenge. Some of my goals have little stipulations on them, I'm only going to be doing them 5 days a week, or some of them, like the diet and exercise thing, they have you get an off day or stick to your diet 90% of the time. I love that rule because nobody's 100% perfect. Also, a few other caveats. I am making allowances for my sick physical health days. I am disabled. I cannot do all of the things all of the time. So if I'm down for the count, the challenge is on pause. A lot of people with the 75 hard also do, if you mess up, if you miss one thing, then the challenge completely starts over. You're back at day 1. I'm not doing that because I actually love myself and I don't feel like that's going to be healthy for me. I have to remind myself that the point of doing this is not to win the competition. You are not winning the 75 days. The point is gradual change over time and building habits. So if I mess up, I look at myself and I'd be like, damn girl, do better, have some grace, and then tomorrow we pick up and we move on. I also made myself a cutesy little tracker because I thought that this would be a really fun way to keep me motivated. I love having a checkbox to cross off. So I was like, oh yeah, first challenge, out of bed by 7 a.m. I'm naturally inclined to wake up between 8:30 and 9, but I really want to push myself because I'm going to have some rather strenuous tasks to do throughout the day and I need time to do them. So getting up at 7 will be great. I want to be clocked on by 8:15. This doesn't necessarily mean writing for me. This just means fingers on keyboard, doing some admin stuff, checking emails. I usually like to start with some easier admin tasks. So getting that done, checking YouTube comments, whatever. As long as it's 8:15, my fingers are on that keyboard. It's getting checked off. This is the first real big challenge part for me, but I want to be consistent about getting 4 hours of working on my novels in a day. I say on average I work 4 hours in my novels with writing, and I do feel like that's true, but it might actually be 3 hours and 30 minutes or 3 hours and 48 minutes. With this challenge, I'm actually going to put on a stopwatch on my phone, and we are not stopping until we hit that 4 hour every single day. Well, every single day, every single work day, because this clock on challenge and this work challenge are only for 5 days of the week, because I do get 2 off days, I would like to say like normal people do. 4 hours, 5 days a week. That doesn't include my admin or YouTube work. I think it's doable. It's gonna be a challenge. I know it's like, oh yeah, it's only 4 hours, but that's like locked in. Like if I get up to go to the bathroom, we're stopping the stopwatch. Like I want to be locked in for 4 hours a day. And this challenge is lasting 75 days, which is like what, like roughly 3 months. I'm on the last 9 chapters of Project Pyro, my YA thriller mystery book, and I know I'm going to be finishing that draft before this challenge is out, and it's going to be to beta readers. So I'm going to be like, okay, what do I work on next? So I needed a goal that could also work for drafting, which is why I went for hours spent and not like a word count or chapter count goal, because once I'm done revising and that's off to betas, then I can work on first drafting Grandmother's Guide to High Stakes Adventuring, which is my goofy YA satire, not YA, goofy satire. It doesn't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but it's about a grandma garden gnome going on an adventure and getting into trouble. And I just can't imagine the amount of progress that I'm going to get done in these next few months on Grandmother's Guide, knowing that I'm going to be 4 hours drafting, and I crap draft my first drafts. So it's like a draft 0. I'm not going to say I'm going to complete the book. Like let's not go that hard. But if I don't even care what's coming out of my fingers during these drafting sessions, as long as it's like sticking to my outline, and we're doing that 4 hours a day, like I feel like I'm gonna blaze through this. September Lindsay check-in, tell me how you're doing. Are you okay? Blink twice if you need help. Since we're on the topic of working, I'm kind of like gonna ease into the personal development type situation. This next goal is kind of a mash between the personal development and the work, because I will be using this section to make YouTube videos, and that is going to be my daily vlogging. Part of the 75 medium challenge is to spend some time journaling, doing prayer, meditation, whatever type of reflection that you like to do would fit this goal. And my idea is I want to be documenting it. So the vlog would be like a video diary. And for a while, even before, like maybe an hour before I turned on the camera, I was like, how do I actually want to do this? Because like daily vlogs is ridiculous. I'm not uploading every day. Even bi-weekly, I think is going to be hard. So how do I want to approach this? Because I do want to be vlogging to put up videos for YouTube, obviously. Not every single one of them is going to be my 75 hard challenge vlog, but I still want to be able to have a moment where I sit down with the camera, even if it's like 30 seconds. I sit in like a confessional, you know, like I'm like on a celebrity reality TV show, and I'm like, his intentions were so bad. I know that this part of the challenge is actually going to be very difficult, because there are going to be days where I just don't even want to sit down and turn on the camera. But if I allow myself just to be like, hey, say if you hit your goals, how you felt about them, and if you like didn't, or if it was rough, just like quickly talk about it. 30 seconds. And I just feel like if I give myself a 30-second max clip, I'll be okay. I think I'm gonna save all of these clips and put them in some kind of like big amalgamation at the end maybe, and have a full 75 hard challenge video go up at the end, maybe? We'll see. I think that this works best for the challenge for me, and it makes it interesting. The next personal development goal is also one that should be easy, but I am worried that it might sneak up on me, and that is reading 10 pages of a nonfiction book a day. In theory, sounds super easy. In theory, but I think it is going to be one of these little goals that you don't expect that creeps up on me and like bites me in the butt. I genuinely read more nonfiction than I have this year. I've not read a single nonfiction book this year. Usually I read about 10. It's a little bit different because I don't consider nonfiction reading hobby reading the way that I do with my genre fiction. So I kind of look at this a little bit differently, but I think it will be good for me to develop more as a human. I have 2 nonfiction books on my TBR that would work for this. If I read more than 10 minutes a day, or did I say 10 pages? 10 pages, I'm sorry, 10 pages, not even 10 minutes. If I read more than that and I finish these books in time, I can always get more. But right now I have The Lost Art of Reading Nature's Signs. Use outdoor clues to find your way, predict the weather, locate water, track animals, and other forgotten skills. This just sounds very witchy, and also would be really nice to have just in case there's like a zombie apocalypse or something. I also have Entangled Life, How Fungi Make Our World, Change Our Minds, and Shape Our Futures. The little bit that I know about the relationship between trees and mushrooms and things like that is fascinating, so I'm really excited to get into this as well. So I will be reading one, if not both of these. And then my last 5 goals are going to be about diet and exercise. So if you need to dip out, I totally understand. I was at a place once where I could not hear people talk about this kind of stuff because it is very triggering. I get it. I will put a little timestamp at the bottom where you can skip over that and just kind of go to the outro where I talk about, like, you know, the plans and things like that for it. So yeah, I'll see you then. But for the rest of you, let's go. Starting with my exercise. So I have decided for this challenge that I want to make sure that I get at least, well, no, exactly 2 off days a week because I am going to be doing some weightlifting and my muscles are going to need time to recover. So I just feel like having 1 off day like the original medium says, or no off days like the hard challenge says, is just so counterintuitive and honestly a little unhealthy. So I'm going to be taking 2 off days as needed. They're not going to be assigned. It's just going to be listening to my body and seeing what I need. Like I mentioned before, I love doing any kind of workout challenge where there's like a calendar and a schedule, and I'm probably going to be doing Shaun T's Dig Deeper program. I have done workouts from this program before, but I have never done the entire program as a whole. I absolutely love lifting weights. I love how it makes me feel. I love seeing the change in definition with my arms and things like that. And I'm excited to actually do the program to completion. That will be really fun. I also want to be making sure that I do a 20-minute walk a day. Now I do have a walking pad under my desk, so that's going to make things so much easier for me. It also makes multitasking available, so I can read while I'm walking, or I can listen to an audiobook while I'm walking. I can write even if I still need those hours in while I'm walking. Humble brag time. But I do have a really good relationship with moving my body. It's not something in this challenge that I'm actually worried about because on average I do work out 5 days a week. The one that I'm a little bit more worried about is the diet portion. You might be saying, Lindsay, what do you mean you work out 5 days a week? Why aren't you like buff, skinny legend, like muscle mommy over here? And I'll tell you why. It's because I love pasta. Yeah, I love carbohydrates, and not the sugary ones. It's like the breads, pastas, the rice, the potatoes. That's my weakness. I eat so much of those that even working out 5 days a week, I'm at maintenance. I'm at maintenance calories. I don't lose weight. So the diet that I have chosen to stick to 90% of the time per the rules is something I call my 1 carb day eating. This probably makes no sense to anybody else but me, but I follow this kind of not rule, but it's like a good guideline for how I try to eat, which is where well, first of all, I normally eat like 3 to 4 smaller meals a day, and that's just like my normal diet in general. But my 1 carb rule is that if I'm having a carbohydrate, a bread, pasta, potato, rice, whatever, for one of the meals, I don't need to have it for the other 3 meals. So for example, if I know I'm having pizza for dinner, for breakfast, I'll try to have like yogurt and some fruit. For lunch, maybe a salad, or maybe some like charcuterie type things. For second lunch, because I am a hobbit, more meats, more vegetables, and then yeah, for dinner I can just have my pasta, I can have my pizza, I can have ice cream, whatever I want. And that is what I consider a 1 carb day eating. From experimentation in the past, I know that if I do my 1 carb day eating for 5 days out of the week, and then the other 2, I can have multiple carbs for multiple meals. That is maintenance with my 5 workout days a week and eating like that. That is maintenance for me. Maintenance meaning I'm not gaining or losing weight. I'm just staying baseline. The past 3 weeks or so, I've really been off of that. I've been having like 2 or 3 carb days for a while. So it's time for a little reset to get back to basics. And in fact, a lot of times when I get really good on my 1 carb day eating, then I feel confident enough to be like, okay, let's add in a couple no carb days where I'm really just focusing on the veggies and the meats and the cheeses and things like that. And the more no carb days I have, the more of a deficit that my body is in, and usually like weight starts coming off a little bit more. That is not necessarily the goal of this challenge. It's just to get back to the place where I'm not gaining weight, because I feel like the past 3 weeks I have definitely, yeah, not ate in the best way for my body. So yeah, I also want to get better about not eating after 8 p.m. I am such a before bed snacker. In the spring, I actually did a little reset where I did the intermittent fasting or whatever, where I didn't eat something like 8 p.m. to 11 a.m. I didn't eat, and it was so hard at night. I think the first 4 nights I was just up in bed, my stomach screaming at me, so mad that I didn't eat like a mini meal before I went to bed. But eventually I got used to it, which was so nice. I was sleeping better, I was waking up more refreshed, and I'm like, okay, yeah, we need to incorporate this back into my lifestyle. I think at first this challenge is gonna be difficult, but after the first week I get used to it, it's gonna be a lot easier. And again, per the medium challenge, I only have to stick to these 90% of the time, which means I figured out that I did the math. So 90% of 75 days is 68 days. So it does allow for a few little, you know, fumbles. So we'll be okay either way. But let's move on to the last one, and that is to drink half of my weight in water. For me, this is like one of the easy checkmark challenges that I really don't have to worry about. I drink like 120 ounces on the regular. So for this challenge, it's just gonna be like 3 of these little 24-ounce water bottles. And then if you drink coffee or tea without anything added in it, like calorie-wise, those count as well. So this is gonna be super easy for me. So yeah, I'm just gonna focus on drinking 2 water bottles, and then the rest of my water will come from the coffee and the tea. I'm sorry, did I say 2? I meant 3. You know what I meant. And so those are my goals. That is what I'm going to be doing. So when are we starting, and who are we doing this with? I have been doing the Lord's work, okay? Witnessing the gospel over the past few days to so many author-tubers, trying to get them involved, and I will say I have quite a great group getting involved who are also hopefully making videos on their channel. Maybe. And that doesn't include all of the author-tubers that are already doing these challenges that I showed previously in the video. I've also asked my patrons over on Patreon if they are interested in doing this, and some of them were super pumped. So I am going to be opening a channel over there where we can all talk about our goals, cheer each other on, hopefully do like daily, maybe nightly check-ins with each other, being like, hey, like how'd you do on your goal? Like cheering each other on and like making sure that we are just, I don't know, have a good accountability system and a good buddy system and like really don't let each other slip. I've also extended it to people in my real life. I'm gonna have my husband doing it with me. My critique partner has already started her journey because of her vacation times. We're all starting at different little, you know, times or whatever, so she's doing it. So like, I am bringing the message. I should be a paid sponsor at this point. My hope is that I have convinced you as well to start the challenge. If you would like a hardcore support system and want to join the Patreon, you can join the Discord. The lowest tier is $3, so you can just pop right in and get the push you need to get your word count goals in or your lifestyle goals, like whatever you want. We're here, we're all doing it, and I'm so pumped. Hello, sorry, I was just starting to clean up my little filming space here, and I realized I never told you when the challenge was starting. So officially the challenge is starting on the first day of summer, which is, I believe, June 22nd, which is a Sunday, which just feels very right to start a challenge on that day. And if you do the full 75 days, I believe that takes you to September 4th. Now feel free to start the challenge whenever you need based on your schedule, as long as we're all kind of like, you know, just keeping each other accountable. That's all that super matters. In fact, I think I'm gonna be starting my challenge on June 16th, so a little bit early, just because that's what works with my life. But yeah, officially June 22nd to September 4th. I'm excited. I hope you will join me. Pray for us all collectively. And let's do it. Let's change our lives. Order links to the Glass Witch and the Odds are down below, as well as the link to join the Patreon if you would like. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah, let's do the dang thing. See you guys. Bye.